So have you ever heard of the term the feminization of migration? What is that? My name is Melissa Siegel. I'm a professor of migration studies, and this is a channel about all things migration. And today we are going to be talking about the concept of the feminization of migration. Now, in general, there are two ways that we often hear the conceptualization of the feminization of migration discussed, and we're going to talk about both of those ways. So one of the first conceptualizations of the feminization of migration is really the idea that there is a changing composition of migration demographics in recent decades. So what does that mean? Meaning that we're seeing increasing numbers of women migrate today than we have seen in the past. In one sense, that is absolutely true and it's accurate. So between, for example, the 1960s and 2015, the number of female migrants doubled. However, what that doesn't take into account is that in the same time frame, the number of male migrants also doubled, as well as the size of the entire world population. So if we look at this as a percentage of the world population, we actually haven't seen that much of a change over, let's say, the last 50, 60 years. The percentage of female migrants has generally varied between 46-47% of the world migrant population in 1960 to around 48% of the world migrant population in 2015. So as a percent of the world population, we actually don't see huge differences. Women have been migrating throughout time. Even back in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, we saw women migrating, not only men. Perhaps it is true that in the past, especially maybe between the 1500s and the mid-1800s, it wasn't always the same percentage of women migrating. Maybe on average, we did see lower percentages of women migrating than men, but now we're already talking about hundreds and hundreds of years ago. In more modern times, we do see these percentages as not being so different. Now, another conceptualization of migration, or I would say in addition to maybe the changing numbers of women migrating over time, and what's maybe more important specifically for the feminization of migration, is really more the reasons why women are migrating. So it's not so much the quantity, but maybe it's the quality and the composition of that migration. So what we do see is that nowadays women are migrating for different reasons than they did, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, even 30 years ago. So now more women are migrating independently in search of jobs rather than as family dependents. So in the past, so much of women's migration was actually because of other family members. So it was following a husband or following a father. So it was mainly family formation, family reunification, but nowadays we see women migrating more and more in their own right to take up different types of jobs. That is also because we see more and more today this very specific sort of gender selective demand for labor on the international labor market. And there are a number of areas where we see large shortage sectors where labor is needed all over the world today that is mainly filled by women. So think of things like in the domestic sector, so house cleaning, but also care sector, taking care of children, taking care of elderly, and also in the healthcare sector. So a large number of nurses around the world are international migrants, and a large share of those are also women. So what we should really be thinking today about the feminization of migration is not so much how many women are migrating, but more about why women are migrating, how they're able to migrate. We have also seen over time that more and more countries in the world have also allowed family reunification and family formation. And it is true that that is still quite gendered. So while family formation and family reunification can in general be for both men and for women, we do still see more women coming through that channel. And since more countries have allowed that, have opened this up, we've also seen that increase for women too. But again, really, the two most important points about the feminization of migration is, okay, absolute numbers increasing over time, and really about the reasons that women are migrating and that we see women migrating much more in their own right today. So I hope that just gave you a quick look at what the feminization of migration is. Feel free to use the term. Feel free to tell us about your own migration experiences. If you have also seen the feminization of migration in your own experiences, please do leave comments down below. If you found this video useful, of course, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, of course, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that we upload on different migration issues. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.